Hello guitar geeks, it is time for me to review the Ibanez FRM300. Here it is in all its purple glory, and it is an absolute beast of a guitar. First off, it's huge. I normally make Strats and Les Pauls and every normal looking guitar look tiny, and this actually looks like a regular sized guitar on me. It's not, it's huge. If you don't know already, the FRM300 is the latest signature guitar from Paul Gilbert. Yes, that Paul Gilbert, the legend, the wonderful human being that I've been lucky enough to meet a few times, and every time I do, I kind of want him to be my best friend because he's such a nice guy. And what a player! That's the understatement of the year. He is a heck of a player. I play nothing like him, and don't worry, to get the most out of this guitar, you don't need to be able to play like Paul Gilbert. This will happily sit in several roles, I believe, and we'll go into that in a little bit in this video. However, don't let the looks deceive you. It is big, it is purple, it is certainly ostentatious. What I'm trying to say is that even though it looks extreme, it doesn't sound extreme in the sense that it's a very, very usable guitar. So, let's get some sound samples for it, then we'll go through the features, and at the end of the video I'll review it. There are some things I don't like about it. It's not perfect, so stick around if you want to know what those are. But straight off the bat, the review is pretty positive. It's a great guitar. I love it. Before we go any further, please consider this a sponsored video. Ibanez are paying me to make this, but they are not paying me to say nice or nasty things about it. All those words, opinions, and mistakes are my own. So that's what it sounds like going through the Mojo on the bridge pickup. That's the Paul Gilbert Mojo, in fact, and through the Marshall SV20 and some greenbacks. Let's go over the specs, and I'm just gonna, I want to play this even more, but let's specify the guitar. The FRM300 comes in absolutely any color you like, as long as that color is purple, white, and black, because this is the one available color, this kind of regal, royal looking purple. It's got an 𝗚𝗘𝗞 body, and this 𝗚𝗘𝗞 wood is very mahogany-like in tone, but a little bit lighter. The neck itself is maple and 𝗚𝗘𝗞, so I'm guessing maple down the middle, then sandwiched by two pieces of 𝗚𝗘𝗞 either side. Then over on the front, we've got a bound ebony fretboard. A few notes on the neck, it is big. If you equate Ibanez with shredder necks, then I'm not saying you can't shred on this, I'm just saying don't expect a super thin wizard neck, because this is nice and chunky and meaty. It's an FRM profile according to Ibanez, which is not at all helpful, but I would equate it to something between a 58 and a 59 Les Paul. It's a little bit flatter than a 58, but feels a little bit more shoulder than a 59. The Gibson comparison also continues in the rest of the neck, because we've got a Gibson scale, 24.75 inches, we've got a 12-inch radius, and the nut is 43 millimeters, or 1.69 inches, which is basically a standard Les Paul neck. So even though the body is absolutely huge, if you've played a Les Paul, this will feel quite similar, although the neck seems to be a bit further that way, a bit more like an SG, which is probably why I love this guitar, because I love SGs. Let's have a look at the pickups. We've got three mini humbuckers, which, if you don't know what mini humbuckers are, they're kind of like humbuckers, but with more definition, a bit more high-end, and not so muddy as a humbucker, because it's covering less distance of the string, so it's taking up less sound samples, as it were. It's kind of like somewhere between a hot Strat pickup, a hot single coil, and a humbucker. A little bit like the Brian May Burns Trisonic pickup. So I'll go through the pickups and go through each setting. It's a 5-way switch, so we've got bridge and middle in parallel, middle and neck in parallel, and then neck. So let's start off with the bridge, the one everybody loves. Because of the mini humbuckers, there's more clarity. So with a real humbucker, that'll be a lot thicker, a lot less clear, a lot duller. And with these mini humbuckers, it took a bit of getting used to at first, because they were comparatively bright. But now that, once you know that, you can deal with it. So if you're going to put like a Les Paul in with standard humbuckers and then swap over to this, it's going to sound very, very different. I should probably show you that. Here's the bridge pickup on that Maybach Leicester. Yeah, so it's not a direct comparison, of course, because it's a completely different guitar, but those humbuckers do sound thicker and not bad, just different. Once again, here's the bridge pickup on its own. For me, that's the most fun part of the guitar, but I do need to show you the other ones. So here's position 2. Here's the middle. Position 4, so that's middle and neck. And the neck, Thick City. It does know. I'm even playing like I'm trying to be Paul Gilbert, like not in my playing, but he's so animated that I feel him being channeled through me. This is such a fun guitar to play because it feels so familiar, but also I love holding that guitar there. It's really good fun and an amazing couch guitar. It really doesn't look it, but for someone, if you're about my size, it really does fit well. I don't know how it would be if you were regular size. I'm 6'3", 6'4", which is about 190 something centimeters. So if you're bigger or smaller than that, I don't know. But if you're about my size, then it feels really good. I love the way it hugs the body. So yes, we have a 5-way switch, just like a Strat, but we've got one tone and one volume, which took some getting used to, and I'm still getting used to it. This is the volume just here. This is the tone, and that throws me a little bit because of this reminds me of Strat, so therefore that must be volume. It isn't. Tone, volume, volume, tone, tone, volume, tone, and volume, volume. The FRM300 comes with 10 to 46 gauge strings, and I believe that Paul Gilbert changes between string gauges. Not that you need to be Paul Gilbert again, but if you are interested, I think he goes from anywhere from 8s to 11s, depending on how he is with his finger fitness. But I've got 10 to 46s on there. I kind of would like to put like 8s on there to really get some nice vibrato because my finger muscles are a little bit out of shape at the moment. But for rock and stuff, you know, 10 to 46 is pretty standard on a Gibson scale length. We've got a Gibraltar bridge, the Gibraltar Performer, which is an Ibanez thing, and then we've got the Quick Change 3 tailpiece. So it doesn't go through the tailpiece. There's these little slots just here, meaning the string sits in there, so you don't have to feed the string all the way through. I don't know if it makes any difference tonally, but it certainly is a quick change, because you just plonk, put it through there, pull it, and tighten it up. Bob's your mother's brother. Let's switch over to the Fender Deluxe Reverb. Chunk, chunk, like that, and we'll do some clean stuff with a bit of reverb. This, in fact, this is where the neck pickup really comes in, and so do the in-between, the out-of-phase 2 and 4 positions. You may be able to hear that the neck pickup and the middle pickup are louder than the bridge pickup, which when you're on the distortion or the overdrive setting, like on the Marshall, it didn't show so much, but on the clean setting it really does. So here's the neck, and then here's the bridge. middle. So especially it kicks in when you're in the position 2. So this is bridge again. Position 2. And it really feels, that's the volume, that's the tone, that's the volume. It really feels like the bridge pickup is a lot quieter than the other two, even though they are all three PG-13 pickups. I've just got the joke. They're called PG-13, made by 𝗬𝗓𝗏, and congratulations, that joke's gone past me for an absolute year until I actually said PG-13. Damn. The FRM300 is built in China, and it's coming in at around 1,200 euros, which seems a lot of money for a Chinese-built guitar. But this is something special. It's not your run-of-the-mill Les Paul Tele Strat. It is something quite exquisite. And the fact that it's built in China makes, for me, is zero difference. And looking at the way that it's built, the build quality, you cannot complain at all. The way that this is put together, you wouldn't know where it was built because it's put together so beautifully. I think that they've kept the price down in several places. I don't know if they're design choices by Paul or Ibanez or just they've used what's available. I'm not sure about the white knobs here. They work, there's just nothing wrong with them, just I'm not sure if that's what I would have chosen, but it isn't my signature guitar. And it certainly doesn't change the fact that I love this guitar. I don't know, something's going on there that confuses me, but I should not complain. Something I can complain a little bit about are the tuners. There's nothing wrong with the tuners. They hold the tune plenty. It doesn't go out of tune. There's no tuning issues. Also partly because we have a Graphtec nut, which is the best in the biz, in my opinion. Forget your bone nuts. Graphtec is the way. The tuners, they don't feel as expensive as they could, which is an absolute first world problem. But they feel cheap. They hold tune, they do the job they're designed to do, they look great, but they feel a little cheap. So when you're turning them, you can feel something going on inside. If there was anything I were to change about this guitar, it might be those tuners. So keep the look, change them to better tuners. I don't know how much more it would have cost to have put better tuners on the beginning. Ibanez, if you're listening, or Paul, hello. I would have wanted not necessarily better tuners, just tuners that feel like you spent 1,200 euros. That is the only gripe. Really, the only gripe. Everything else is brilliant. The finish is spot on. Everything's cut wonderfully. There's just nothing. Oh, something I did change about it, actually. I put some Scotch stuff on this. Scotch-Brite, is that what it's called? The neck was very, very shiny like the rest of the body. And I found that my hand was getting stuck a lot. So I just buffed it up a little bit with a bit of scratchy. And that makes it a lot smoother, a bit more matte for someone who prefers that. So if you're into really gloss necks, this is perfect for you. If you're not into gloss necks, then take one of those Scotch-Brite pads. Is that what it's called? The green thing that you do for cleaning in the kitchen. And just run that up there a few times. That's what I did. And now it feels just perfectly smooth and for me, better. So there's a top tip for you. Incidentally, while I'm holding it like this, it kind of looks like an Iceman, because if you didn't know, the Fireman, Fireman? The Fireman is Paul Gilbert's design when he reversed an Iceman. So that's what an Iceman looks like. He turned the body shape upside down and added a cutaway here, and that gives you the Fireman. Or the reverse Iceman, I think it was called originally. But Fireman, FRM300. Let's talk about who I think this guitar is for. It could be for you if you are looking for some rock riff machine that you can shred on, or maybe you can, I can't, but maybe you can shred on, but also if you just want to play power chords and look a little different and get a slightly different sound. If you're expecting like Les Paul or SG, you shouldn't. You should expect more something between like a Firebird and a Strat. So, in fact, let me play you something sort of Queen style. Brian May. This, I think it might excel at. that's about all I can remember from that part of Killer Queen, but it gets my point across. I think it really, really does bring out that mid honkiness. And I know I'm boosting something on the pedal here, but on the middle pickup setting, because of that smaller humbuckery tone, it sounds quite Burns Trisonic, which is quite Brian May. So if you want to start a Queen band and you can't find a Red Special anywhere, maybe get one of these. So at this point in the video, you either know about the FRM300 already and you're interested in it, or you've never heard of it and this is your first time experiencing it. So depending on which group of people you fit into, then hopefully if you're already into the FRM300, I can confirm this is a solidly built, excellent guitar that is a lot of fun to play and will do the job for many different types of, I want to say, rock. If you're on the fence with buying it, then have no fear. The one I have, at least, is absolutely fantastic. The setup out of the box was brilliant. I did raise the bridge a little bit because I was getting a little bit of choke up here, but generally speaking, great. If you fit into the second group of people where you've never heard of this guitar and you're thinking, that's interesting, that's big, that's purple, that's got a really chunky neck, then you should be. And if you ever get a chance to try one, or if one comes up online and you fancy it, I recommend you go for it. Don't expect a Les Paul sound, don't expect a Strat sound, expect something in between those two. So if that really floats your boat or peels your banana, then this could be the guitar for you. I think the only downside, apart from I would like some better tuners on it, is that it isn't a guitar that sits in the background. So if you're going to play this in a band, you're going to stand out. And that's either a positive or a negative. What I will say is that if I saw someone on stage playing this, I would absolutely stick around to see what they did with it. So it's not just if you're into Racer X or Mr. Big or Paul Gilbert solo stuff, which you should be, but if you're into any kind of rock, this could be a nice addition, something a little bit different, and being made by Ibanez, quality's great, and it's going to be consistent as well. I think I'm trying to get across that you should go and buy this guitar if you're in the market for one of these. This one is staying with me. I'm very happy to say that Dan has said, Andy, you use that so often and you love it so much that it can stay with you. So thank you, Dan. And don't let that sway your opinion of my video, by the way, because yes, I get paid to do this, but no, it doesn't benefit me to tell anything but the truth. So, if you've got small hands, maybe not. If you've got a small body, maybe not. If you want to play rock, go for it. If you want to play, pretty much if you want to play anything, then you can go for it. You won't be disappointed. I feel like I've said all there is to say, but I want to keep saying stuff about it because I want to keep talking about it because it is so brilliant and indeed one of my favourite guitars of the year. But all good things must come to an end, and that means that you've reached this part of the video, which is near the end of the video, which means you're in the end of the video club. And to prove that you are a member of this prestigious elite, leave me a comment in the comments section telling me what you think of this. And when you do comment, also include the word purple, and that'll let me know that you watched this part. Bit of fun, isn't it? Thank you for watching. Thank you also to Paul Gilbert and Ibanez for building this, because it's now going to go on my list of favourite guitars ever, which is a short list, and this FRM300 is on it. There's videos over there if you fancy that. If you want to buy one, by the way, there's links in the video description, and go and fill your boots. I'll see you soon, I guess. Bye-bye.